Well, season 9 of The Walking Dead, episode 15 to be exact, has come and gone. And what are my thoughts of this episode? Next week is going to be the season finale. And already seen the trailer and what's next for I guess you can say, the allied forces of Alexandria, Hilltop, and Sanctuary. And you know, the way it ended was very impactful. Um, some might think it's was too. I don't know. Some people might think that it wasn't impactful enough. It wasn't. It was too light on their approach and how the poor unfortunate characters were killed. I think it was very made its point. It showed what Alpha is about. She feels like those guys kind of crossed her, came into her territory, and you know, kind of remember hearing Lydia saying that they kind of made a fool of her. They made a fool of her and they made her look bad. She was going to get her revenge on them somehow. We see her infiltrate the trade fair using I believe, the scalp of that girl that we saw in the opening of the show. You can see her scalping her and taking that scalp off her and apparently wearing it as a wig. We see her walking through the trade fair, and we see a little bit of a we see her bumping into Ezekiel, and they're talking, and she kind of ends their conversation by saying that she feels that this is going to be the hardest winter, and we definitely knew what she meant by that. Right away in my thought, I said, you know, she's pretty much saying to Ezekiel and the others that it's going to be hard on them because, of course, of what we are going to see as the show ended. It affected me because although I remember, when seeing the season 7, or I guess the last episode of season 6, where we see, Glenn and Abraham get killed by Negan and Lucille. It was very gruesome, very over the top, overkill. I think, when he just kept, just swinging Lucille over and over into what was left of Glenn. I liked Alpha and how she did what she did because it's like the way she deals with things, like how she dealt with that girl that was her along with her boyfriend were questioning her leadership, her ways, and then she takes that Garrett or that wire and she just pulls back until that girl's head is severed. Very up close, very personal. It's like when you have a knife and you go up against somebody, a gun. Anybody can point a gun like that and shoot you from 50 feet away, 100 feet away. But you got a knife, you got to be right up close to a person. It's like with that Garrett. She's got to be right up close and personal to a person. And pretty much, I think it's like even more sadistic than how Glenn and even the governor dealt with their threats, people that they thought were threats. They like eliminated them. You know, even though having Lucille, you got to be a little bit close range, but you still have quite a extension. At least what, about 5 feet in front of you, your arm plus the bat. But a Garrett, that wire, you had to be right up on somebody. You can't just be far away. And where does she rank? With when it comes to the villains on an entire the show of The Walking Dead, entire 9 seasons. You know, um, but going back to, she has her conversation with the king, Ezekiel, and then we see them watching the movie in the theaters. You see Lydia looking around for Henry, expecting Henry to sit right next to her. He asked her to save her a seat at the movie. We've seen earlier how Ezekiel and Carol are happy because their son is bringing a girl to the movies. I thought that was a sweet moment between those two because they're proud parents. And I love the fact that, biologically, of course, that's not their son, but they adopted him, and you believe that that's their son. The way they love him, the way they look after him, they're kind of a little bit overprotective, especially Carol, but they know that soon, he's going to be a man, and like, they know they're not going to be able to control him, you know, in a few more years, but they saw that he was growing up, and this is the next step. He has a girlfriend, and or what, pretty much proclaimed to each other that they liked each other. So it's kind of the beginnings of a relationship between the two. But she's sitting there, getting back to the part in the theater, and we see coming into frame, very blurry, very fuzzy, and we know who it was. You seen that little glimpse of the blonde hair, so we know that her mom was sitting right next to her. Kind of goes like this, and then cuts away. Uh, I just love the way Alpha was able to infiltrate the trade fair. How she just snuck in there. It's almost like it goes to show that just anybody, because pretty much that's the trade fair was. It's pretty much anybody who wants to come on in and trade some stuff, and give some stuff, and see what everybody else has and what they have to offer. And so she just went in there, and when I saw that, I'm thinking, is there, like, other whisperers behind her? Gonna, are they spread out? They only showed her. I don't know if there were any other whisperers in the amongst the crowd, but I believe it was just her. I mean, we see how it opened with the two. Well, I think it was like a holdover from the ending of the last episode, where the other two kind of look at each other. They're in the whisperer guys. They were dressed. They had the whisperer skins on them, and they say to each other, let's we need to talk. You need to tell Alpha about this. But it's weird because when I was watching the episode, we see Daryl and Carol and Michonne and others were there, and when they got cornered by first by walkers, and then when they got dispatched, when they got rid of the walkers, out comes the Whispers, led by Alpha. We see, things going on in the trade fair, and there, and I'm just thinking, was the situation when was the things at the trade fair going on way before they left, or did they, I mean, I'm talking about the scenes because it seems like when she talked about, well, I mean, I guess it was because Alpha was already there, and they're showing her at the trade fair, so that must have been like, you know hours earlier, because it was still daylight there, and then it was dark when we see her confront the Daryl and his group. Of course, she takes Daryl, takes him to the hill, to the top, and overlooking, we see the hordes of walkers, who, according to Alpha, was being led around by her people, kind of guiding them in certain ways so that they can be there in that one little herd. And she tells Daryl that if they even try to you know, invade their space. By just paraphrasing, but she's telling them if you invade our space and you try to confront us again or do what you did before again, she's going to unleash the herd on Daryl and his people. So, and she pretty much, and she also tells them that she's marked their territory, the territory that she doesn't want them to be in. When she said mark their territory, and I'm going to tell you people, I don't watch the I don't, I mean, not watch, but I don't read the comics. I don't know any of the story when it comes to the Walking Dead. When I watch The Walking Dead, I go in blind. I don't know anything else that happens, as in regards to the comics. And right away in my mind, I was thinking how she marked the territory, how she, you know, so that they can see that that's her territory. Well, he ends up meeting up again with Carol and with Michonne and the others, and they're walking up, and they see Sadiq. They bump into Sadiq, and he's tied up, and he appears to be beaten up and bloody and injured. So I'm thinking, did they just get Sadiq, and did they, you know, leave him to be eaten by the walkers, or did they leave him there for them? Maybe that was her way of saying this is what's going to happen worse to you guys if you try anything, kind of a thing. But in my mind, I'm thinking markers. How does she mark the territory? They're walking up the hill, and you see these pikes, these sticks in the ground, and you see what appears to be objects on those sticks. And I said to myself, I go, exactly, exactly how I thought, because I'm not going to say that, oh, I'm a psychic and oh, I'm great because I guessed it. No, it's just because I've watched movies before where someone would say, you know, they're going to mark the territory or they're going to show you where, we are, where our ground is, or something. And they had pikes with heads on them. This is exactly what it was. They walk up and they see it's countless numbers you know, uh, of the people that I don't know if they were garroted, if they just had their heads cut off, but we see Ozzy and we see his partner. It goes, you know, from head to head. We see the young Asian kid, the one that, along with the other teenage boy, was kind of harassing Lydia. We see Addie, the one that was talking to Henry and wanted to ask for his apology, and she wanted to offer her apology, and that because she squealed on him, and it was right. It was right for her to do it because it was for. Because they wanted to know. I guess it was one of the things where they wanted to know where Henry was. It was just something like that. But she thought that Henry would be mad, and he wasn't mad because you know how Henry is. He's a very level-headed kid. I think he understood that she didn't mean anything by it. You know, you see the others. We see Tammy. That really, I was like, oh no, not her. Oh, like she was such a sweet lady, and she was just bonding with the baby, and convincing the husband to keep him and or keep him or her, because I don't know if they established the sex of the baby yet, but and then we saw. Don't know why it affected me, but when they showed the next one, or when they showed this particular head, I was like, no, and it was Enid. And I remember when I watched it, it just pounded my fist into my desk, and I was like, no, not Enid, man. I'm thinking back to, to Alden and how they established between them that, yeah, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. You know, start of a relationship, start of a life together. You know, and then and the way that the Walking Dead, the writers, the editors, the cinematographers, the way they filmed it, they would go to the characters back at the trade fair. You know, where's Tammy? You know, her husband's going around. You know, trying to acting or asking. I believe he was asking Gabriel, and we saw Alden and Luke on the stage, and Enid is usually in front. You know, kind of making light of her boyfriend and making fun of him because he's gonna sing, even though she loves his voice, but she's being a typical girlfriend and wants to you know, kind of give a little jab to her boyfriend, although it's done in love, you know. But when he did that, and I'm like, no, no, no. I'm like, no, come on. And then they showed it, and then they showed Tara. I'm like, not Tara, not that tough, not tough chick, not that who was such a great leader, you know, who took over, you know, like when Jesus didn't want to take it, didn't want to be the leader. You know, Tara was doing a good job. Then, as it went on, the uh, the big reveal, and man, I tell you, it was harking back to earlier in the series. You know, when Carol's daughter walked out of the barn and she was held back. Don't look. This time, same thing. Daryl's holding her back. Don't look, don't look, And then the camera pans, and then it goes right and shows Henry. And my God, Henry's face looked like it was beaten to a pulp. I mean, he must have been like abused and beat pretty badly before. Because if you look at the other ones, it's clean. They must have been just, their heads cut off right away. There was no bruising, no nothing, maybe a little bit here and there on some, but mainly it was like, and you can pretty much tell it was them. Henry, to me, it looked unrecognizable. Like his face was beaten, like it was tortured or probably punished before. He probably was killed last. But we see the reactions of Michonne and the name of the Asian girl that kind of escapes me at the moment. But see her reaction, and we see just the Sadiq, his Sadiq, man, poor Sadiq, man. He had to be the bearer of the news, like when he explained it around to the people that he was spared, and Alpha pretty much told him that I want you to tell them. And then he said he blacked out, so apparently he got knocked in the head from behind, knocked him out. He was just lucky because he was pretty much the messenger. She needed a messenger, Alpha, and she chose Sadiq. Sadiq could have easily been one of them, and then it could have been Henry that was the messenger, or it could have been Tara was the messenger. But unfortunately, they're all dead. Some major characters, some who were starting to kind of get into the groove, the Highwaymen. I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one. A lot of people probably were really beginning to like the Highwaymen and Ozzy and his boy and the way they were handling their business. They were kind of like kind of sadistic at first, kind of like pushing their weight around and kind of like looking like another offshoot of a villainous group. But kind of a tough exterior. But those guys were pretty nice down underneath all that exterior. Underneath that rough and gruff tough guy kind of thing. Because if you can just offer guys a movie and then they're cool, like okay, we'll protect the roads and we'll escort your people to the trade fair. That's kind of cool. You can get you can do that to those guys. Why not? But yeah, Walking Dead really went for broke. They really wanted to make an impact. It affected me. I mean, I watched the compilation. Someone did a great video. They did a compilation of the reactions, people watching it. But it was like the last 15 minutes. The video was about 18 minutes long. Showed it went from you know reactor to reactor, and then they would like play a scene, and then the next minute of the scene, it will go to another group of people or two people, a person who was reacting to it, and every one of these people, I tell you, were like genuine. They really reacted naturally. It wasn't phony. It wasn't like they're just reacting to get views. There's this one girl that's crying hysterically, and sometimes when I see stuff like that, it's totally put on. It's like a person that's like, I don't know. I think they pinched themselves, or they put a lemon in their fucking eyes or whatever to make themselves cry. Maybe they use Visine or something to make tears. But this girl was crying. She got me going because you could tell she was very invested in the. She's very invested in the series. She loves the characters. And she was the same thing as me. She's like, "Oh no, not Enid." It's like me too. And then when she said that, I fucking lost it. I mean, it's just like it was very fun. It's just very sad. The way this somebody posted a video on YouTube that said why the characters died. What was the reasoning behind it? Probably check the video out and see what they're saying and what their thing is. All we know is that it was meant to be a reminder. I'm pretty sure Alpha is saying that if you guys try to come into our thing, we find out again this is going to happen, But of course, she did say that she was going to pretty much unleash the horde onto their people, onto Alexandria, onto the sanctuary, onto the kingdom. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know what you felt. Who was the one person, or maybe two, that died in tonight's episode and how it affected you. You know, it sucks that it is sad that all of them died, but I know that there are some that affected you the most. For me, it was Enid. I liked her from day one. The little cute interactions with her and Carl, and then of course she went on to Alden, and Alden, of course, we know was one of the saviors in the beginning, and he turned around and ended up being because he was a good guy anyways. He was a good guy anyways. He kind of showed that even when he was in one of those cells outside, that they had him in when they first took those savers, decided to under Jesus's kind of like him saying that, hey, we need to take these guys along, and we don't need to kill these guys, kind of a thing. Well, that's my video, and thanks for watching. Um, And we'll see what happens next week during the Into the Badlands. We saw the trailer for the preview for the season finale. So we'll see what happens as season 9 comes to an end. And then we're going to, I guess, definitely see it at season 10. Again, thanks for watching, and take care.